Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Content Creator Podcast, the podcast for content creators by content creators about content creation. I'm your host, Brian Bernardi, and joining me this week is not John this week, but just Taylor. How's it going, Taylor?
Hi guys, this week we actually have a really special episode for you. First, we're just going to go over the news and things, but my special friend, Patrick Cullen, also known as PCall4444, has graced us with his presence and has decided to give us an interview. Mm-hmm. Now, some backstory real quick before we go into the pre-interview show. I started watching Pat when I was about 15 or 16 years old. He was one of the first YouTubers I have ever started watching in my life. And now we're really good friends, and it's honestly kind of strange. But Pat usually does Nintendo games. He did Battletoads with Super Genius, Nintendo Capri-Sun, and Proton John, which was honestly really fun. I would totally recommend watching that video. He also did a few drunk histories of games, which are hysterical as well. He's a really all-around fun guy. So that's all I really wanted to say about Pat real quick. And with that, we're going to go into the news. I'm going to start off with the YouTuber scandals that have been going on this week. So for all of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of a YouTube channel named I Hate Everything. He does movie reviews, and specifically he has a series called Search for the Worst, where he looks at the top 100 worst movies on IMDb, watches them, and reviews them. Earlier this week, his channel was pulled off of YouTube for no reason. This happened to 5 other mid-range YouTubers between like 80 and 200,000 subscribers. No reason whatsoever. Just channels were pulled. They all kicked up fusses. It was all over Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And eventually they got their channels restored, but there was no explanation. So clearly there's an issue with the way YouTube is handling their systems. I don't think they're respecting their content creators as much as they should be.
Yeah, and especially in this medium nowadays where a lot more people are really not getting their content from traditional sources like cable or movies are still going to be a big thing. I mean, like I make movies. Movies is still going to be a big thing, but everyone nowadays is getting their content online through like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon, stuff like that. And for YouTube to just kind of, from the way you're saying it, kind of push this under the rug, it's kind of insulting to their base because these people are making money through YouTube, and for YouTube to just not give them a straight answer as to why this is happening. I mean, it could be a glitch. It could be, I have no idea what the hell the issue is going on, but YouTube, get your shit together and either give us a straight answer and tell us what the hell's going on. Is someone pulling your arm and saying, take these people down? They're using our content to make their content. Whoa. And are we about to get into another argument about fair use?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Or
Brian,
is it a system glitch?
Nostalgia Critic's involved now.
Well, the Nostalgia Critic just posted a video.
That alludes to it, this specific incident.
Earlier today, he posted a video. I was just about to watch that video before we went to air. And even he's just like, what the hell is going, like, from what I got.
He lost monetization rights.
What's up?
The Nostalgia Critic lost monetization rights with no explanation or human contact.
Yeah, like he got a strike on his channel. So like I said, is certain individuals who create content, like say movie studios or game companies, are they pulling YouTube's arm and saying, take these channels down because they're using our content to make their content? Or like I said, is this just a random system glitch?
Or there's the third option of it's a bunch of trolls that don't like these specific channels. Because the thing is that the way the system works is you can make a claim and it doesn't even matter if it's true. It'll immediately affect the channel sometimes.
If it's a bunch of internet trolls being massive fucking dicks about this, pardon my language, but
the system would need to be reworked immediately.
The system would be reworked immediately, and to those people who are trolling you, if it is indeed trolling.
Yeah. It's just
you're taking money away from these people.
Like
you are actually you're not like no. Let me go on my rant.
Yeah, go.
Like you're taking money away from these creators, and like the main premise of the show is we advocate content creators. We want to talk to these people about what they want to do, why they do it. I mean, we're going to be interviewing people who, in a sense, makes his living off of YouTube. and streaming and Twitch and stuff like that. And for you to shut these channels down, you are literally cutting these people off from their main source of income to what they use to pay their bills, pay for their housing, their food, water, shelter. You are literally destroying their lives. And to you, I say, fuck you.
And it's not even that, because
Massively.
YouTube doesn't, unless if you're one of the select few like PewDiePie or Smosh where you have these big paychecks, the paycheck from YouTube is not that big, so it's hard to save in case of a situation like this happens.
Well, again, using those people as examples, they aren't getting money strictly from YouTube. They also have sponsorships from outside sources that give them additional sources of revenue. But for some of these
mid-range YouTubers,
and mid-level YouTubers, YouTube is their primary, so Google AdSense is their primary source of income.
And it's like, we put a video up a week, and it's only one video, but I can tell you my entire week is filled with looking for information to put into this one video a week. I can't imagine what these people who put 5-6 videos out a week feel after they're in, like, all their hard work, their resume, everything they've ever done is gone, because I highly doubt people have backups of videos of what they did like 2-3 years ago on their computer.
Exactly. And for YouTube to just, like I said, push us on the road. I mean, granted, they are so big, it's hard for them to keep track of all this stuff. But again, the only likely sources is it's a system glitch. It's corporations pulling their arms and saying, take this content down. They are infringing upon our copyrights, which, again, the fair use defense, which is not a actual legal term. I will correct people on this. It is a legal defense, meaning it's something you can use to say, no, I'm not blatantly, stealing your work. I'm just using your work and remixing it in a way
where it falls under fair use.
Where I'm creating something entirely new. And there are so many videos out there. I can direct you to a video essay I created about fair use, explaining fair use in the format of a Let's Play. So I can put that link to that video in the description if you guys want to understand what I'm talking about when I speak about fair use and these corporations knocking these people down. But at the same time, if it's internet trolls, I'm going to give you the big old giant fuck you, suck my dick.
It's unfortunate because, you know, my days are usually spent when I'm not working on this, rewatching old school Nostalgia Critic, and I hate everything. They're like my 2 favorite critics on the world besides Chris Stuckman. And it hurts because, like, I can't even imagine what those guys feel like, because you can tell with every piece of content they put out, like, it's their entire heart and soul. And so it's just, it's upsetting, but we could literally talk about this all day. So
we could talk about this all day. And if you guys want to contribute to the conversation when my mouse is working and not causing me technical issues, because it's a wireless mouse and it's deciding to be a dick, but that's beside the point. So if you guys want to continue this discussion, put your opinion in the comment section below about this topic. And in the meantime, we're going to go on to our next story. So Taylor, what's the next story?
The next story is that earlier last week, it was either this week or last week, Scott Cawthon released the latest Five Nights at Freddy's game called Five Nights at Worlds. And ended around with an 87% positive review on Steam, but it was pulled. And I'm not sure how I feel about this, because for one thing, it's the first time a developer has put a game out and has said, you know what, guys, it's not finished, and then refunded everything. Like, has gotten Valve to say, yes, if you bought the game, doesn't matter the time limit, you can refund it for your $10. And he's also, let me get the website again. He, once it becomes available and redone, he's going to add a 3D overworld. It's going to be on GameJolt for free. Now, I haven't played it. I haven't talked to anybody who played it, so I don't know necessarily what was wrong with it. But apparently there was something really wrong with it. I'm assuming maybe it was bland. Kotaku actually said the version was kind of terrible, the original version. And Scott Cawthon said that he was not satisfied with the reviews or the ratings it was getting.
So this is one of those times where, like, a guy is literally, like, and Scott, how do you say his last name? Cawthon? Cawthon. Scott Cawthon is an indie developer.
Not Cawthon. Cawthon. C-A, like C-A-W-T-H-A-N or something like that.
Coffin. Okay, I said coffin. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Scott. I
Laughing
apologize.
Coffin. Yeah, well, I mean,
Love to talk to you, by the way, but
Coffin right
I
now.
apologize about butchering your last name. And I'm probably going to continue butchering your last name because I am terrible at remembering names.
You can say my last name. That's like already points in your favor.
But I've known you for so many years. How many times have I butchered it before we knew each other that well?
A lot.
Okay, anyway, my point being is I actually respect him for this.
Same.
Because on one end, there are developers out there who make shit and just put it out there and they know from the beginning that it's shit. And then there are developers who try and make a great game. It turns out to be shit because they're not great. They didn't really put in that much effort. And then there are the select few developers who like take extreme amounts of time to make sure it's perfect before they even put it out, which I mean, like companies, even big companies sometimes do that, like Square Enix. But then again, Square Enix just takes forever to put out a game. I mean,
Stop. Don't even go there.
Kingdom Hearts 3, 2030, guys. 2030, Kingdom Hearts 3. You're welcome.
Don't even.
Anyway, and then there's developers like Scott where they put the game out. And
they tell you it's going to come out on a day, and then it comes out 3 months earlier.
Right, and it comes out a little earlier than what he had planned because he thinks like, okay, the game is done, it's good as is, and he puts it out, and then he looks over one more time. He's like, no, I need that. I appreciate what you're doing, guys. I'm sorry, but
it's like that for every game. He's put every game out, and it comes out earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier.
This is one of those things where I think he kind of got so close to the end and he wanted to get it out to appease the fans, and he rushed it, and rushing it can never lead to any good things.
Well, what we got 5 games in basically a year span at this point out of him.
Right, exactly. And like for him to say, no, guys, I'm sorry, but this isn't what I envisioned the game to be. I'm going to pull it off Steam. You'll get your money back. And I'm going to go back to the drawing board and either retune the game or refinish it. And like I said, I got to respect the guy for that because this is the guy who takes great pride in his work and understands that if he puts out a mediocre product, it's going to get mediocre reviews. And he's like, this isn't me. I'm a perfectionist. I want to make this game the best damn game I've made to top what he's made previously, which I'm not a big fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, let alone, but at the same time, I can say I'm also not a fan of horror games. So with that being said, I still appreciate for them being the great games that they are.
Yeah.
And apparently there's also talks about them developing Five Nights at Freddy's as a movie, which I'm interested in seeing how they do that. But again, I gotta give mad respect to Scott for what he's doing because he understands.
He was wrong. And you like look at Assassin's Creed. What was it? Black Flag was the super laggy one or the super glitchy one?
No, Black Flag. What? No, the super glitchy one was Unity.
Yes.
Black Flag was the most boring Assassin's Creed I had ever played.
Well, that's besides the point. But like. There's just so many glitchy games that have been coming out lately, like Sonic Boom. Like, come on. So like when there's games like that and the developers aren't really saying anything about it and they're only coming out with like post-release updates. But I mean, Watch Dogs was postponed for that reason. But Batman had that game-breaking glitch where you could like fall through the floor and then your game was just done. So like the fact that it's kind of embarrassing for him, but it also really does make me respect him because he's embracing the fact that he's only human. He made a mistake and he rushed it. And I like the fact that he's making it for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said, like you put the nail on the head. There are big companies out there who need to rush the titles out because they want to make a quick buck. I mean, that's where you get tired. Sonic Boom, these yearly.
Was rushed specifically for Christmas.
Yeah, those yearly game releases like the Assassin's Creeds, the Call of Duties, the whatever franchises now release a game literally every year and are getting to the point where we are literally at franchise fatigue.
Well, it's like, what it's like? It's like the January horror movie. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's always a horror movie in January, and it's always bad.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm interested in seeing The Boy because I had friends who
No,
went
it's
and saw
bad.
them.
I saw it.
I did not see it yet, so I'm going to reserve judgment. But I have heard
The ending
So
ruins it.
so you didn't like the movie. I had another friend who really enjoyed the movie and said it is a messed up movie, but in a good way.
It's the ending that like ruins it.
So I'm gonna try and go like I said, I'm not a big horror fan, but The Boy is one of those horror films I'm interested in checking out because I've been hearing so many mixed reviews on it. I'm like, all right, I need to go in and see this for myself.
All right.
Because I have a bad tendency to base a movie based on other people's reviews, and I shouldn't really do that.
Speaking of movies, it
Yes.
is almost February, and we cannot not talk about Deadpool and the
Can we
marketing.
just talk about
campaign.
Deadpool's marketing?
Yeah, that's.
Let alone
Did
the
you
marketing.
see the Green Lantern one? Have you seen it?
I
They came out with a poster mocking Green Lantern, where Deadpool
is that where he
has
had
a ring
the
pop.
the
He
ring
has
pop?
a ring pop.
I saw that, and I was like, I love it.
There needs. I'm actually curious. Is there a way where, if you really look at the fine print, that we can finagle the marketing team into getting an Oscar for this? Because
No,
they deserve it.
no. There's
This
no
is like-
there's no
they-
Academy Award for Best Marketing.
They should. It like holy shit. Deadpool deserves it.
Oh my god! Everyone I talk to that appreciates Deadpool is like looking at this marketing and be like, they've nailed it.
It's
They-
perfect.
Just in the marketing alone, they nailed the character.
Well,
So
I've heard the
I'm
movie.
hoping the movie. Well, there are some people out there who were like in LA and New York a couple weeks ago.
Who've already seen it?
They were going to do well. The original plan was to just show these people a few select scenes from the movie. No, they showed them the whole movie.
I've heard this is the best Marvel movie.
And like I've heard a lot of people say, like, if you're a true Deadpool fan, you will love the movie. If you're a casual comic book fan, you'll like it. Your mileage may. They're saying your mileage may vary on the movie depending
Yes.
on how much love of the character you have, which is understandable.
Well, it's not. I don't think you even need to love the character necessarily. Like Deadpool is a very specific type of literary character, and I'm gonna call him literary, even though comic books are more visual sometimes. But like,
No, they're literary. You can call them literary. You're not
but
wrong.
like, if you just like those kind of V for Vendetta characters, and you just
Mhm.
enjoy like the anarchy and like the fourth wall breaking, you're gonna go in and you're gonna fucking love Deadpool. It doesn't even matter if you have any history with Deadpool. If that just is what makes you happy in a movie, yes.
Or if you're just a fan of Ryan Reynolds' comedy.
Well, yeah, Ryan Reynolds lives for this. Like, what isn't he usually on Tim and Eric? Hasn't he done stuff with Tim and Eric?
I want to say yes, but
I
I
think
don't
so.
watch Tim and Eric, so I really don't know.
I think so, because like Tim and Eric does a lot of humor like that. Very meta, very like breaking, like almost fourth wall breaking. If you are a part of like a production team, you'll
Hmm.
get like their jokes. So it's interesting to see him finally get into like a role that suits him perfectly.
I mean, I thought he was okay. I thought performance-wise in Green Lantern, I thought he was okay as Hal Jordan. It's just everything else around him was utter garbage.
Well, the thing is that you know how I can tell this movie is going to be good?
How?
He was upfront blatant about Green Lantern being bad.
Oh yeah, he full on admits it's like, yeah, Green Lantern didn't turn out the way it was supposed to turn out.
And so the fact that he is as excited as he is about this movie,
Yeah, and even
it
I'm excited.
screams to
I
me.
am super excited to see this movie. I can't wait to see it. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're in a relationship and your boyfriend or girlfriend says, "Hey, let's go see
Valentine's Day
this
date.
romantic, sappy movie," slap them in the face. Go see
No.
Deadpool.
No, show them the romantic, sappy Deadpool ad, and then trick them, because that's shit Deadpool would do.
I like the way you think.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, what's the next story on our list?
All right, I have to talk about this because you know how I feel about City Skylines. City Skylines does have a new DLC coming out. It's the first for the year, so this is their second. It's called Snowfall. It adds weather to the map, and the way that they're going through this is actually really smart. It's not default on every map. There's only like specific maps that have the weather effects, and that's because, you know, if you have any kind of custom content, it might not work well. But there's snow plows, they have trolleys now, they're adding a whole bunch of different content. They're adding like electricity is going to become a problem with heating when it's winter now. It's like this game, every time they come out with stuff, it gets a little bit more realistic.
I'm just waiting for them to add disasters and just be like, all right, we're going balls to the wall. Godzilla's in the game.
They do have a flight simulator in the Steam Workshop.
Well, that's awesome, but I don't want a flight simulator.
You can fly the planes.
I want to be able to build my city, create a grand utopic city, and then burn it to the ground.
I may actually die from recommending this, so you will know how hard this is for me to say. But if that is what you want, and if you have a phone, like an Android or an iPhone that can run apps, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it.
Say it.
The SimCity app is not bad. I went there. I've said it. Oh. They have an app. They have an app based on the 2013 game. It's not bad. I enjoy it. I've had fun playing it while I'm on the go, and I really want to play a city builder. It's nowhere near as in-depth as City Skylines.
Okay.
But it's good.
Like, what's the company that makes City Skylines? Is it
Paradox and Colossus Order?
Okay. The only other games from the other game from Paradox I'm playing, like hardcore, is Europa Universalis 4.
Yeah.
I play that game hardcore.
It's Europa.
And I have 2 games I'm playing on there. One is a Cheater McCheaterson game where I am Japan, and right now on that game I own almost half of Asia.
Haven't you had that game since the summer?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I did see at your house then.
Yes. And then the other game is my legit playthrough where I'm the frickin' Pope and I win with the Popersy. Which is I diplomatically win the game because I'm the frickin' Pope.
The papacy.
The Popersy.
No, the papacy, honey. It's papacy.
No. I win with the Popersy.
Okay. All right.
The Popersy.
All right. So one last bit of news before we're gonna end this segment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Tron game.
Yes.
Tron. I think it's pronounced Runner. RUN/R. I like that because it's kind of like a program executable.
Yeah, that sounds like Tron, all right.
Let me get the info real quick. I know it's on PC. I've heard.
I've seen it be advertised for PC, PS4, and Xbone. I'm sorry, Xbox One.
It's still Xbone. Here we go. It's confirmed for PS4, Xbox One. When does it launch? It launches on the 16th, and it's $20 across the board.
Wait, the 16th of
February.
Oh.
On PC, the day it access, that's the day it'll access early access and see a full release as well. And you can create an avatar, customize it with dozens of elements, including light cycles, suits, helmets. In the game boasts more than 30 levels, while stream mode challenges players to make their way through remixes of existing levels. The game supports leaderboards. It says that it remains authentic to the arcade origins of Tron. That's what Disney really tried hard to do.
And so far, Disney's been on a roll with almost everything.
Wow.
What?
If you go to the ESPN Winter Games or if you go to PAX South, you can try it ahead of launch.
Why not PAX East?
Tron also features music from EDM legend Giorgio Moroder. I don't know who that is, but apparently that's big. They have a lot of EDM artists. What?
It's not Daft Punk.
I know. Speaking of which, if you like Undertale and you like Daft Punk and you like Sans, the Megalovania song, the final boss fight against Sans, the song that might play sometimes when you fight against Sans, I think that's what it's actually called, has been remixed with Faster, Better, Harder, Stronger.
Oh, dear God.
It's so good.
Oh, dear.
They did such a good job with it.
That sounds awesome. So what other stories do we have?
That would be it for this week.
that would be it for this week. All right. So with that being said, I think we're going to go into a quick break. And when we come back, you will be seeing us interviewing Pat or P. Cool. And so we'll see you guys in a quick 30 seconds. And our clip this week will be actually probably a clip from Pat's YouTube channel himself of him playing one of his games. So enjoy the quick clip. And when you come back from that clip, we'll be talking to Pat.
All right. See you in a bit, guys.
Go do the thing! But I don't want to do the thing. Ooh. Uh-oh. Mafia sabotage. 22. Yo, hello? Oh, badge points. Interesting. Huh. We're gonna hold off on that. That's interesting. So you get a badge point for every badge you get, and then you have to spend badge points to unlock the badge. That could be fun. Kind of got that a customization going on. I'm digging it. All these little hat girl messages I missed. Mafia guy.
Mafia stupid, but Mafia not stupid. Mafia graduate university. Mafia has PhD in Mafia.
These fucking gay. These fucking guys from the Mafia.
Hey guys, welcome back to CC Cast. Like we said earlier, we're now here with Patrick Cullen, also known as P-Call. Say hi.
Hi.
So we're gonna ask him a few questions, and then they're gonna all make fun of me because
that is our job. Our job right now as friends is to make fun of Taylor. And unfortunately, we weren't recording when I made my greatest joke ever, but we'll just leave it at that.
Great.
There will be better ones.
There will be many better ones. So to start off, I guess I'll start off with the first question, Pat. Pat, why don't you, for those of you who don't know what you do, just give us a quick explanation of kind of what you do.
I play video games and talk while I do it. And it's as simple as that.
As simple as that.
I started Let's Playing, putting it on YouTube in 2010. And more recently, I've begun streaming on this one here, Twitch. I do that a lot more frequently now. I actually haven't made a YouTube video in months. So, yeah, apparently people find me entertaining. That's still a mystery to me on that one, but
it's
hell,
the
I'll
sound
go
effects,
with it.
the noises that you make with your voice. They totally work.
So, how did you get into going on to YouTube and Twitch? And how did you get started in doing Let's Plays?
That's actually a really interesting and long story. I got
We
bored.
have time. Wait, that's it? Really? You got bored?
I got bored.
You got bored.
That's the most interesting thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel blessed.
I graduated high school that year in 2010, and college was on trimesters, so I graduated in May and wasn't going to college till like the very end of September. So there's that huge chunk of time I just had to fill doing something, and I had been watching Let's Plays on YouTube for a couple years and finally thought, I got time. I can play video games. I know how to say words. I can do that. So I started doing it, and then it was just kind of right place, right time sort of thing as far as getting well known.
So what YouTubers were you following at the time?
Nintendo Capri Sun was the big one. Scottish Duck, I think it's 17. Pretty sure it's 17. He was the first Let's Player I started watching. I just wanted to know. I couldn't find a copy of the original Ratchet and Clank. I only had the second and third game, and I wanted to like experience the first one before playing the second and third one because I wanted to play them again. I don't know what happened to the first one, so I went on YouTube and I just thought like maybe there's gameplay of it. So I looked it up, and then it was Scottish Duck 17's Let's Play of Ratchet and Clank, and I watched that whole thing. And then instead of playing Ratchet and Clank 2 and 3, I watched him play Ratchet and Clank 2 and 3. And then I just kept watching and kept watching and kept watching. And then finally, a couple years later, decided that, hell, I could do this.
So, like you said, you've watched Nintendo Capri Sun. You've also collaborated with him at some points, right?
Oh yeah, collaborated
So,
with
you
some
know,
people.
and then there's like Luca Jin, Super Genius, Proton John. Is there somebody who's like, I would totally collaborate with this person anytime, anywhere, no problem?
Not really, because I already have.
Who
is
was that?
All of the people that I felt that way about in terms of making YouTube videos. I guess it would be fun to pop in on a review with the completionist. Me and Gerard are pretty good buddies. I helped him out a little bit with Photoshop because he didn't know how to use Photoshop. He didn't know how to remove a background from images. So he used to stream editing his episodes all the time. So I would watch him stream. Then finally, he was like, "I can't do this. Someone in chat do it." I'm like, "I want it." So I just did it in like 2 seconds and said, "It was Pinkle, you're the best." All right, cool. So I actually became pretty good friends with him by doing Photoshop work for him because I was bored. Again, boredom is the key.
So boredom is the key. So guys, if you want to get into a Let's Play, just be bored. Is the advice Pickle is giving you right now?
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of want to ask, like,
it.
because I looked up a lot of your YouTube videos, and you mostly play old Nintendo games. Was that what you wanted to do from the
That's where
beginning?
it's at. That's where it's at, man. Old school Nintendo is just where you gotta be.
Like, how did you go? Like, did you try to do more modern games like PlayStation or Nintendo, or just go straight to the original Nintendo Entertainment?
Because, and this is a very important reason, I have a pen. Because when I started, you need pretty good hardware to do all this stuff at this point. If you want to do like the modern games, you need a computer that can run a modern game and also stream it or record it at the same time, or you need a piece of hardware that'll get it from your modern console to your computer and have good enough hardware to record it on the computer. So at the time, I was running this Dell hand-me-down broken-ass computer that cost probably like $150 to get in my room. And my first video I ever made was a camera on a tripod pointed at a TV, and I deleted it the day after I uploaded it. I was like, I'm not starting on this. I'm not starting on this. So I went to my dinky, super cheap piece of crap Dell with like a tiny little old ass monitor, and I figured out how to record emulators, and that's the way I did it. So that's why I had to start with old school Nintendo games and the old school stuff, because that's all I could manage to record at the time. So now obviously it's a lot more commonplace to have the hardware more widespread to be able to do stuff, so it's a lot easier to start now.
Now,
Mostly, yeah, old school Nintendo right here. Grew up with that. That's where I
besides
live.
playing games and talking and being bored, do you think there's like a skill set that's needed to be a streamer, or like a personality type, or is it just like a ollie ollie oxen free? If you have the interest, try it.
Yeah, if you have the interest, try it. Really, that's what it comes down to. I mean, a lot of it, as far as like getting well known and getting your name out there and becoming a YouTuber or a streamer, as far as that goes, that's like 90% luck. Just being at the right place, the right time, knowing the right people. Networking is about 8%, and then your actual personality, I would say, is 2%. Because there are people out there that are way more famous than I am, that when I hear their voice, I want to punch someone in the face. So it's totally luck. So if you want to try it and you're interested in it and you're bored and you've got the time, I would definitely recommend it if it seems like something you'd have fun doing. But don't go into it thinking I'm going to be the next big celebrity that plays video games and says stupid stuff.
Now, is there a specific influence that has influenced your style, or is that just straight Pat? Or like, has there, and I don't even mean from YouTube, like movies or TV shows?
No, actually. First, because I was watching Nintendo Capri Sun a lot. I wanted to do like the whole thing he was doing at the time, where it was just you talk about the game and then randomly out of nowhere during a boring point you'd start telling like a random story from your life at the time, like almost like a diary in the middle of a video game. But that quickly became clear that that wasn't really for me. I'm not really a diary, this is what's going on in my life kind of guy. So I just kind of started doing the whole loud noise reaction thing that PewDiePie was doing. I didn't even know who he was at the time. That's just kind of the way it went, because I would like randomly make a random noise, like if I got killed in a game or like got hit or something crazy happened that I wasn't expecting, I would start making loud noises and stuff, and people would leave comments like, oh, this timestamp the video, that was hilarious, like that, oh, I can't stop watching it. So like that triggered something subconsciously in my head that, oh, I need to start doing more and more loud, crazy, ridiculous reaction stuff. And then I compared like one of my videos to one of PewDiePie videos, and I don't like PewDiePie videos. That's not for me. But I compared them, and I realized that like it was very, very similar at the time, and that just like. So I changed a lot style-wise from loud, obnoxious, crazy voices to, I guess, nonchalant, don't give a shit sort of attitude, while still keeping, I guess, the humor that I like to have. I don't know. It's really, style is such a strange thing to think about when you're talking about literally playing video games and talking at the same time. That
Does
you
that
like
ever
have
just-
a style.
Do you ever just wake up some days and you're like, wow, like this is a thing. I play video games and I talk and I have like 11,000 people that like pay attention to this.
You know, no. It came so gradually. There was no like all of a sudden you're like no one and like you could just be farting into the wind with a keyboard, and then like all of a sudden bam, you've got a bazillion followers. It was like over the last 5 years you gradually get more and more interaction with more and more people. So it's almost like I'm just jaded to it at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I guess it would be a huge shock if it all went away instantaneously. So that, I guess, is a good way to put it. Like I would miss it if it was gone. Like it's a part of my life, and I can't imagine not being able to, like, I could literally just tweet poop right now, like the word poop, and it would get more interaction than someone writing like a freaking thesis on like something scientific and useful for humanity if they like typed it out in like 15 to 20 different tweets and it was like the most profound thing ever. Like maybe one person would read it if they had never tweeted before, but I could literally type poop.
Yeah.
And it would get traction, which is stupid and mind-boggling, and that's the world I live in. So I try not to take that for granted, I guess.
I see.
But I never wake up and go, wow, a lot of people know who I am.
Well, it's not even that. It's that like it's a viable career option for some people if you get like popular enough. That drives me nuts because like I remember like the old N64 days, and now it's like you have like Smash on ESPN and like League of Legends, and it's
right.
Absolutely far out.
Yeah, video games are becoming career fields at this point, not in the sense of making them, selling them, advertising them, like in the sense of playing them and talking about them. It's becoming a career because it's a new form of entertainment, and entertainment's always been a career field. It's just the advent of modern technology and being able to stream gameplay and record gameplay and send it to other people's homes has really just exploded this new field of entertainment, and people are really taking advantage of it.
And kind of bouncing off of that, was there ever a point when you were doing your videos where you were like, holy shit, I'm getting such and such views or such and such traction where I can actually start, like, quit my day job in a sense and make a living off this? Was there ever a point where you were just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, or is it always kind of just something you kept on the like as like a hobby, or was the intention to do it there from like day one?
Well, it was never the intention from day one. Day one, making money off video games wasn't even
A
thought. It was a joke. It was, imagine if we could make money off of this stupid crap we do in our free time. And then there was the the huge thing where like 4 or 5 people got partner on YouTube and then like opened up that huge can of worms where everyone started getting real mad about numbers and being whiny little middle school girls about viewers and subscribers and you said this and why don't I get the viewers and all that. And I don't know. I never looked at it as I want to do this for my career. It was always I enjoy doing this and it's cool that like it pockets me a few dollars on the side. Recently with streaming, because streaming's a whole different monster than YouTube videos. Recently with streaming, I've been ping-ponging back and forth the idea of maybe trying to see if I can do this as a day job for now, but even thinking that way, never as a career. It's all variables. To have that as like a life career, to think that you can play video games like 40 hours a week, the physical toll on your body alone from staring at a TV, using your thumbs all day, every day, talking for 8 hours straight, it's just not viable as a career. Maybe as like something you do for a couple years just because you want to see how it is, see where you can take it, but no, not as a career. Maybe as like a job that you try for a little bit. That I'd be interested in that, but not as like a, you know, unless Twitch.tv starts rolling out benefits to partners like healthcare and stuff.
Oh my God, could you imagine the kind of backlash that would come from like the older generation if Twitch had healthcare?
I could just imagine rolling into like urgent care down the street and being like, "Did you change healthcare since we last saw you?" "Yeah, I'm with Twitch TV healthcare now." What? So viable healthcare.
Like, screw Obamacare, I have Twitch care.
Oh,
Now,
care.
you've said that, you know, it's kind of like a temporary thing almost, or that's how you kind of view it, not as a permanent job position. Has there ever been a point in time where you've just like wanted to be like, I'm done, either from pressure from school or outside life pressure, or have you just never had that?
Playing video games?
Just done with the streaming, done with the YouTube? Like, have you ever had a moment of thinking of just stopping?
Nope. Nope, it's too fun. It's way too fun.
I've never you always seem like you're having a blast anyways. With
yeah, I mean,
it's... What playthrough was that with the cat?
The cat?
BioShock.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Your BioShock kitty.
Yeah, I picked up I was playing through BioShock, and there's a dead cat in a corner in some little, like, hidden room. And it's, like, right after you get the telekinesis power. So, like, I got in the room, and I saw the cat, and I was like, oh, can I? And I telekinesis it, and it, like, the way telekinesis works in the game is, like, when you do it, your field of view, your hand is, like, kind of in the middle, and whatever you're holding with telekinesis is in the middle of the screen, kind of, like, spinning around as you're holding it, and you can hold it infinitely. So I grabbed this cat, and it's just this dead cat spinning, taking up most of the screen. And because you have another hand with a wrench in it, I just start beating the cat with the wrench, and it just starts spinning faster and faster. And eventually it's just completely covered in red. And I just end up taking this bloody dead cat all the way through, like, I think it was either that area or, like, the next 2 areas. And, like, the only thing I did was I killed stuff by throwing a dead bloody cat at it. It was hilarious.
Oh my God, this stream went dark so fast.
That's why, and it's stuff like that that makes it that I don't want to quit doing it, because you always find stuff like that. Because if you're doing that by yourself, if you're not streaming and you're just playing BioShock alone, I mean, it's still a fun game, you're having fun, but you don't do things like that if you're not thinking, if you don't have the mindset like, hey, someone's watching right now, like, wouldn't it be funny if I did this? I want to see what they would think of that. It's like having someone sitting on the couch with you while you're playing a video game. It's a digital couch, essentially.
Yeah, I agree with that thought process. Like, what was, like, some of the, like, of the games that you play, were there any where you were like completely frustrated just playing through it, either with, like, a modern game or with some of the old Nintendo games, where you were like, you're midway through the stream and you're just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Mario Kart. That's a big one. That's one of the game I'm playing through right now. I'm probably gonna play it after I'm done talking with you guys on this.
Awesome.
as La Mulana. It was a standalone game that a Japanese developer made on the computer, but then they did a remake of that game for Wii and Steam. So I'm playing it on Steam right now, and it's essentially a 2D platformer. Metroidvania, I guess, would be
Ooh.
the genre to put it in, but it is the most cryptic bullshit the game makes you hate yourself game ever.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Ever. I've played, I think, 35 plus hours of this game. I have no idea if I'm near the end. There have been at least 10 instances of me walking around the entire game for a solid hour with zero progress. It is incredibly cryptic. And then I'm trying to do it with as little hints as possible. My buddies are watching and they're in the chat. So like after an hour, I usually say, all right, give me like a vague hint that'll like nudge me in the right direction, and then maybe I can figure it out. So we'll do that, and then I'll finally find like the one just stupidest thing you would ever have to do. Like one of them is you literally have to press down on a random point and like just fall through the floor.
Fuck?
Like you never do that in the game, and then it's like, yeah, you just have to press down on this one little pixel, and then you fall down into the little secret area you need to go in to progress the game.
That's not even a side mission? That's just like main
Yeah, you
story?
have to do it. No, the whole game's like that.
That's
the whole game is like
terrifying.
that. It's ridiculous. It's
Oh, man.
absolutely. And the thing is that they give you a cryptic clue about it. Like, give you an example. It's like the floor above this area, there's like 5 pots that you can break, and 4 of them are empty, but one drops a single like sub-weapon ammo every single time you break it, and it respawns when you leave the screen. So like every time you come back, it drops one single of that ammo, and it says like 1. Like there's a little 1 on it, so you know it's 1. And like 3 rooms earlier, which in this game is about 40 minutes of progress ago, like 40 minutes ago, you read like a hint, because there are a lot of hints scattered throughout the game, and it says, have the courage to look on bended knee for a single item. And that's your clue to press down where this one item drops out of the pot.
No, that's not okay.
So
Yeah.
this sounds like a game where you need a notebook at your side while you're playing it.
You need a book of blank paper.
It sounds
a
like
book.
when you read Game of Thrones, I actually took a notebook and took notes. It sounds like that, where you just need like your notebook to take all the notes to make sure everything's
Yeah, and I
okay.
haven't been doing that, so I'm kind of screwed at this point.
Now, just to change the subject a little bit, from what
sorry,
I can
that's you asked. Sorry, why I get if I've ever
Yeah.
gotten mad and wanted to stop. I've gotten mad a lot at that game. Like usually when I solve something like that, I'll take my headphones off and just be like, I need to take a walk, and then I come back like 3 minutes later.
I need a minute to just because
I just need a minute to breathe, calm down.
I get fuming mad.
I've had moments like that, but it's mostly during like boss battles and usually a platinum game
Right.
where I'm
Yeah.
playing like
Exactly.
Devastation and I'm trying to beat this boss and I'm like Transformers
You get
Devastation, which is a great game. And
You get like 90% of their health down, and then they pull some crazy bullshit. You haven't
yeah,
seen
exactly.
yet,
And
you
so
die.
they pull some crazy bullshit. That's why I won't play Bloodborne or Demon Souls.
Oh, God.
because
Or
all
Dark
the
Souls
enemies
3.
or Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls period, because I just know I will get so frustrated through those games, my TV will break.
That happened to me during Dream Drop Distance. Every time I would get really close to beating a boss, drop would happen, and then I would switch to the other character, and then I would have to do the entire boss fight over.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'd have to like close the DS and like walk away for a good hour.
That's why you should play good video games.
Oh, I know, right? I play horrible video games. But just to change the subject, from what I can tell, you're recently kind of testing the waters with voice acting. Is that correct? Am I correct here?
Trying to.
No.
I haven't really tried to push it. I just kind of, hey, I'll do it if you contact me, and it hasn't really done anything yet. So.
But what was
But
like?
yeah.
What like made you think like, hey, I should try this? Or was this just like also like a I'm bored today, let's do voice acting?
It was mostly the first, but it was also a little bit of this. Anything I ever do is always, I'm kind of
It's
bored.
always I'm
I guess
bored.
I could do that thing I wanted to do. Yeah, I'll do that. That's how it works. But I don't know. I've always been good at impressions and being able to do different voices. and people of all the time said, you should get into voice acting, you should get into voice acting, you should get into voice acting. And I think it sounds like fun, just being able to use your voice to bring characters to life or to voice something. Like oh my god, my dream job, and this is silly, this is almost like a guilty pleasure of a dream job, would be like being the guy for those terrible instructional training videos that you get at day jobs.
Oh,
like,
God.
that you have to watch at like supermarkets and stuff.
Like Six Flags. I had to watch those at Six Flags.
Yeah, exactly. Like any like part-time employee, and a lot of full-time employees have to watch stuff like that, and there's always some guy that reads off all this stuff and just be like, if someone is cut on the floor and there is blood spilled, be sure to wear protective gloves, for that is called a biohazard. Was
I like
it
the sexual
A,
harassment
a
ones.
biohazard? B, just completely like, I would love to do that.
That is the most random dream.
I love it though. That's
career.
I wanna
Like,
do it.
what is your dream job? I want to be the guy that does the voices for those shitty tutorial videos they give you in retail.
I do. I really want that, because
What
I would be
the-
in the studio and they'd be like, all right, here are your lines. And I'd look over them. I'd be like, it's not boring enough.
It's not boring enough. Can you make this more soul-sucking?
Yeah.
Can you make this more time wasting, please?
Exactly.
I don't know. The sexual harassment ones are my favorite because they're both boring and then they're extremely uncomfortable half the time.
Bill touched Julian's ass. Is that A, sexual harassment, or B, good for Bill?
Clearly good for Bill. Bill is winning today.
Good for
I'm done.
Bill.
All right, and just to wrap things up because it is getting kind of late, is there any advice that you have for particular hardships in YouTube or just getting started up on Twitch?
Two things I always tell people. Actually, three. Three things. One is, and this is probably the most important one, don't go into it unless you're going into it for fun as a hobby, because there's a 99% chance that that is all it will ever be, is a fun hobby you do. Because at this point, back when I started in 2010, there weren't that many big names in it. So it was easy to be like, hey, check out my stuff. And people were like, wow, I really like it. It's great. It was good. Follow, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like everyone is doing it and wants to do it. And it's just, there are too many people for that many people to
Yes.
make it. So that is the biggest one, is just don't go into it thinking you're going to be the next big thing, the next big tits. You're just probably not. You could be, but that should be like way on the back burner in your head. The second would be make friends doing the same thing you're doing at your level. So like if you're just starting, make friends that are also just starting. If you're kind of like getting to that mid-level place, keep your old friends, make some new ones. I've made so many friends doing this, and it almost feels like some get left on the wayside as you grow, but most of them I can still talk to, and it's fine. But that is hugely important, is make friends that are kind of doing the same thing you're doing, because that's going to make you want to do it more, and it's going to make it way more fun. Way, way more fun than if you were just shitting out YouTube videos and hoping that some famous nerd is going to drop a like on it and hopefully share it. It's way more fun to just get that group of like 10 people that you know on the internet to comment on your stuff or watch your stream consistently. Way more rewarding. And as soon as you have that, then you have the stepping stones to grow, if that is what ends up happening for you. The third would be, don't be afraid to try and share what you're doing and get other people to share it, but also don't be a jackass about it. So don't spam people that you follow that you want to get their approval. For instance, if you've got a YouTuber that you want them to watch your video, send it to them once. Send them a PM, something like, hey, I love watching your videos. You inspired me to make videos. If you want to check it out, great. Let me know what you think. If not, that's cool. Keep doing what you do. Something like that. Short, simple, gives them the option to not feel pressured to watch your stuff. Just be a normal person about it. That's really what it comes down to. And those are the three things that I always tell people, because that's what I did, and it worked out for me pretty well.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, you were like my favorite person when I started this whole thing.
Oh, that's so
It's
cute.
true though. Like I started Chugga Conroy, Nintendo Capri Sun, and like you, and Critical.
Damn. Up there with the big boys.
Those were like my first. To be honest, I don't even remember how I found your channel. I just remember
Forever a
it,
mystery.
and the drunk histories were like great.
Those were fun.
Yeah, I just remember like watching those all the time, and it was fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you watched.
All right,
Dorks.
so that's all we have for tonight. Again, Pat, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It was a good.
Thank you for joining us. Before you go, where can people find you on Twitch or YouTube or social media?
Twitch.tv/DoubleTeamTaylor, also known as Twitch.tv/PCull44444. That's 5 4s because screw conventions. That's anywhere. It's brand
Especially the front.
sameness. PCull, PCULL, 5 4s. Everywhere you would want to find me. That's how you'll find me.
And you can find me behind Taylor, where Pico will be in the front, and on Twitter at Brian Bernardi. And Taylor, where can we find you?
In the middle.
You can find me kicking both of your asses. You can find me handing out some serious ass kicking to these two at twitter.com/aguamentus. So that's all we have for today. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. And again, thank you, Pat, for stopping by.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Content Creator Podcast. And always remember, guys, content is king. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
I'll be behind!